Hi everybody, it's the Gregarious Giggler here, and today I'm coming to you to talk about men. Kind of. Welcome to my new home, everybody, and welcome to the second installment of Transgender Truths. I left off kind of abruptly in the last video, but I wanted to continue on along the same theme while exploring other avenues of the same subject. So to start off today, let's recap what we learned in the last video. 1. Parents are abusing their children today by giving them hormone blockers from preventing them from becoming the gender that they were born as, and instead transforming them into the other gender in order to appease their fanciful and delusional notions of what they think they are, which is not actually what they are. 2. Parents give their children as young as 3 years old carte blanche to decide what they want their future to look like, which is essentially chopping off their genitalia, preventing puberty from occurring, and destroying their future one cell and pivotal milestone at a time. 3. Apparently you can be whatever you think you are, and there are no limitations to that, including being a 52-year-old male snowplow driver who thinks he's a 6-year-old little girl, and has adoptive parents who cater to his psychotic fantasies, who allow him to dress up like said 6-year-old little girl. 4. People today, as a whole, are insane. On that note, let's move on. The word transgender has not been around that long, and if it has, we're only now just hearing about it. Kind of like the term cisgender, or genderqueer, or pangender, or gender fluid, or, any of the other 1,000 politically correct terms that are nonsensical, totally confusing, impossible to remember, learn, want to know, hear, or understand. Wikipedia defines genderqueer as: genderqueer is often used to self-identify by people who challenge binary social constructions of gender. This is where we really get into it, isn't it? People who challenge social constructs of gender. We, as a society, constructed gender. No, God constructed gender when he created Adam and then Eve. It was in all the papers. Maybe you read about it. Gender is not a social construct. It's a biological fact. You are either a man or a woman. You are either born with a penis or a vagina. It's really quite that simple.
They do the lipstick, they do the hair, they do the makeup and stuff, and that's what makes them real women.
No, my dear. I know you're just a child, but I can think of many women that I've known over my lifetime, acquaintances and friends alike, who would be very offended by that statement. Wearing makeup is not what makes you a woman. There are a lot of women, real women, who don't wear makeup, and they are no less of a woman than those of us who do wear makeup. Makeup doesn't make you a woman. Having a uterus makes you a woman. Having cramps once a month makes you a woman. Speaking of which, being able to give life to another human being through your own body is what makes you a woman. And before I hear all the haters saying, well, what about women who are barren? Does that make them any less of a woman if they can't give birth? And to that I say, just because an oven can't bake does not make it any less of an oven. The oven was designed to bake, just like a woman is designed to give birth. Just because the oven's design is dysfunctional doesn't mean that it's no longer an oven. Hence, a woman who is barren is still a woman. Her insides are just a rocky place.
The doctor explained that her insides were a rocky place where my seed could find no purchase.
But here's another really important point that I'd like to make, that this little girl sort of makes for me. Has anyone else noticed that with the trans women who are biological men, the majority of them, if not all of them, seem to all wear makeup, dress snazzy, wear jewelry, and have their hair done? Gee, I wonder why that is. Could it be that even with trans women who are biologically men, associate being a woman with femininity? Could it be that to them, dressing up, being pretty, putting on mascara, lipstick, and blush is a way of expressing your inner female? I'm waiting to see the transgender woman who dresses totally neutral, doesn't wear a stitch of makeup, no wig if they're naturally bald, as a biological man, no rouge, no hosiery, and no chokers or delicate necklaces dangling above their superficial décolletage. I'm waiting to see it because I think it's like Bigfoot. It doesn't exist. Contrary to what the cisgender feminist women say, oh God, I'm starting to talk like them. Femininity is a big part in being a woman. Even though to be a woman, you still need to have a vagina. Not a fake one. A real one. But who is this little girl, you might ask? Well, the title of this video on YouTube, I kid you not, is My Mums Used to Be Two Men. Yep.
I was afraid that if things went wrong, the system wouldn't let me keep my daughter because they'd think it was morally wrong for my daughter. You know when this picture, when you first saw this picture, it was the one that made you laugh, weren't it? Because you'd asked me to show you what I look like as Sarah. If my daughter had had a problem with it, then I would have had a problem with it, because I'd made a conscious decision not to let my feelings override my daughter's feelings and my daughter's needs.
Oh, but you kinda did, didn't ya? Because just because your daughter said she was fine with it, at whatever age she could have possibly been at that time, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, one of those sage ages that we talked about in the last video. It really doesn't matter if your 8 or 9-year-old approved of you becoming a woman. You, as the adult, have to know better, and have to protect your child from your warped sense of reality wherein you think it's appropriate to become a person of the opposite sex. No, it's not okay that you switched sides. It's not okay that you now identify as a woman and that you've placed that burden on your little girl as well. Not enough that you have to endure your own crazy? You have to put that on your child too? What is this little girl going to go through in the future? How screwed up is she going to be? How will she be able to interact with the rest of the world? How will she be able to handle not only the bullying that she's already talking about in this video that she's been going through, but other conflicts, oppressions, and other woes that will inevitably befall her in her life because you made the conscious effort to become a lady?
I mean, at first she used to call me stepmom, and it was driving me insane. But now I just kind of take the role and help Sarah where I can.
Kate's the grumpy one and the bossy one, and Mum is the all lovey-dovey one.
My daughter still had 2 people who thought the world of her and tried their best to bring her up.
She's like having 2 parents, like kind of Mum and Dad, just that they're 2 women.
No, my dear, they're not 2 women. They're 2 men! So, here's another issue that I just have to bring up. Clearly, if you dissect the atrocious application of Max Factor and the gross attempt at trying to look female, which neither of them are hardly successful at the end of the day, they're 2 homosexual men. But aside from this obvious fact, in their minds, they're 2 lesbians.
Man has sex change to become lesbian.
One thing we know for sure, though, they're not straight. And just out of morbid curiosity, have they each had their rod and tackle removed so that they could live a traditional lesbian lifestyle? Or are they still doing what homosexual men do, but just with some lipstick on? Honestly, any of that kind of activity is so far removed from what we as human beings were designed to do, it boggles and confuses the mind to even try to imagine it. So I'll go on.
Very funny. I couldn't do this when I was her age because I was biologically different. So when I first went bra shopping, it was really hard because there was only just myself. And I had no one to ask or anyone to get advice from, you know, and it's an important thing because you wouldn't want to walk in here on your own and just on the first time and get yourself a bra, would you?
No.
No.
Into your fitting room, just slip your shirt off and measure around your chest. Okay, so I'm going to get you one first and we're going to try it on you, okay? All right? Away. That's beautiful.
That's nice, I like that.
How is it okay that a man is going in to look at her try-on bras? Not even a young woman. This is an underage schoolgirl, and he's allowed to go into the dressing room with her and look at her in her bra. How is that okay? Yes, okay, fine. He's her dad for all intents and purposes. But he's still a man. Fathers parents don't go bra shopping with their daughters. And if they do, they certainly don't go in to check what the bra looks like on the daughter. And if he does, then he's a creep and he needs to be reported. It's inappropriate behavior. But because he says he's a woman, he's allowed to do whatever he wants. Because as you know, women are superior to men in all ways. Why wouldn't men want to climb aboard that superiority train as well? And by the way, who's to say that all of these men are telling the truth about their supposed gender identity crisis? Just because they say they're transgender doesn't mean that they necessarily are. So now let's get into the sex issue, which we were bound to tackle at some point, right? So again, I'm always faced with this confusion of, if you're a trans woman, i.e. biological man, and you say you're straight, does that mean that in your mind you're a straight woman, which in reality would make you a homosexual man? Or if you say you're homosexual, does that mean that you're a biological male attracted to other biological males? Or in your mind, are you a real woman, who is actually a real man, who is attracted to biological females, which would actually make you straight? Not confusing at all, I know. I was confused before, but no longer am. After seeing this vile display of information that this person has decided to gift the land of YouTube with.
Hi YouTube, so today I'm going to be talking about masturbation for trans guys. Okay, number 1, get yourself your packer or STP, and if you just kind of like rest it against yourself in the appropriate area, against your junk if you like, and then just sort of use that like a dick, because the friction or the impact it actually kind of helps in a really weird way. Number 2, what we have for here in the UK, which is really cheap and accessible, is if you go online to somewhere like Lovehoney, which is where I got mine, and they do discreet packaging, you can get something called Tenga egg. And the egg is just, it comes like that, and it comes in a little sort of like Kinder Egg package, so it's really discreet and no one's ever going to know what it is. And it's nice and kind of stretchy and soft, and it is a little bit noisy. The inside, so it's got a little hole like that, and so what you do is you'd put inside. But even if you're pretty, I reckon this will still work, because all on the inside it's got these little ribs, and you can get different ones. I think this is like the wave or something, so the ridges are quite big. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt at all. The little ridgy bits at the end as well. And even if you just like turned it inside out and used it like that, or did something like that, it works like a dream. What you do need is a water-based lubricant for it though. Just squeeze it in there and off you go and have lots of fun with it.
As gross as that was to listen to and understand, I feel more informed now, and not in a good way. At least I know now that this person who has a vagina has the desire to penetrate another woman with a vagina, only this person would like to have a penis, and would like the feeling of having a penis so that they can feel the inside of a vagina. And if you think about it, all this person would have to do is just go into the bathroom and pull their pants down, and I'm reminded of a scene from Being John Malkovich. But I digress.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Carolyn. This is Carolina, and today's video I'm going to be talking about my first time having sex as a post-op transgender woman. I lost my virginity about 6 months ago with my boyfriend at the time, who is someone that you've probably seen on my channel. His name is Will.
So your boyfriend is gay, and so are you. Okay.
And he's made several videos here with me on my channel talking about his experience as a cisgender male dating a transgender woman. We decided to finally have sex after the 1-year follow-up that I had with my doctor in Montreal, where he cleared everything and he said that I was okay to finally have vaginal intercourse.
So does that mean that you two were having anal sex and oral sex prior to having fake vaginal sex? Because if you were, that's another indication that you're both homosexual men.
And as we progressed we also started trying things a little bit differently. So we got into trying different positions, and that's something that I think that every person's made differently. Every vagina is different.
Yes, all vaginas are different. Some are real.
And it felt like kind of like when I was dilating, except this time it's a little bit different. Obviously, I'm dealing with a penis, not a piece of plastic like I was before. Penises are a little more bendable.
Penises are bendable? Well, I guess you'd know better than me. I mean, you were born with one.
That unfortunately, up to this day, I have not been able to reach an orgasm while having vaginal intercourse.
Have you orgasmed while you're having anal sex? Because again, that would make you gay.
You have to make sure that you're clean with it, because your post-op vagina is almost like a very deep belly button. It's not like other vaginas that go into a uterus.
Other vaginas that lead to a uterus? You mean real vaginas?
Not to go too much into detail, we all know that safe sex is the best sex, and you should always feel safe with your partner. And whether it's by getting tested together or by using contraceptives if you could get pregnant, or condoms. In my case, I've always used a condom when I had sex.
Oh, you mean you're not on the pill? Alright, I'm just gonna say this, even though I know this is probably gonna be considered like a totally offensive thing to say. Like I care. If you are a cisgender male, oh god, there I go again, and you are having sexual relations with somebody who has a penis, or originally had a penis, and you find them attractive, you're gay. And if you are more comfortable with a transgender woman who was originally male, there is something mentally wrong with you. And you have disturbing personal issues as well. Just for a second, let's get back to the kids real quick, because if this video weren't terribly sad, I would just find it hysterical, which I kind of already do.
A vest, huh?
A vest, a
And
tie.
and his short hair before he even had short hair, huh? Remember that? You made this when you had long hair, but you knew what you looked like inside your head, huh?
You have a chip on your face, dude.
I made it short hair.
Mm-hmm. And was that you trying to tell us something?
And I couldn't.
Why couldn't you? Because you were 3?
The kid can't even say how old she was when she knew that she was transgender. Because she's only 5! Although by the time you're 5, shouldn't you be able to speak? But whatever.
Mommy and Daddy didn't understand yet, did we?
Mommy and Daddy still don't know because they're morons. Oh, I love that this is a CNN film, because you just know it's gonna be good.
We don't know a whole lot of people with children as young as Rylan who've gone down this road.
And don't you just love the sad, dramatic music that's in the background? That slow motion they have with this little girl who thinks she's a boy. This little girl walking around in boy's clothing and her hair all short and stuff to make her look more like a boy. I mean, obviously she's a boy. She's wearing boy's clothes and she has short hair like a boy. That's it. That's all there is to it. Except that she has a vagina.
Yes, he's just a kid. But he's a kid that feels very strongly about something, and we need to open up our minds and understand that.
We have to open our minds. Let it all in. We're not in control of anything. When I was 7 years old, I felt very strongly about marrying Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you call me darling. Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
Should my parents have opened their minds to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, I was struggling with interspecial sexual desires in my youth? Should they have taken me to see a specialist who would have gouged my parents' pockets and then put me on some ridiculous hormone therapy that would have discouraged me in the future from becoming a human woman, but rather a female foul bedfellow of DW?
Maybe it's not a man you should be looking for. You think I might find happiness in the animal kingdom, Ducky?
Like they say, Dal, love's strange. We could always give it a try.
Oh, that's crazy talk? I'm sorry. Were we not just talking about turning penises into vaginas and little 5-year-old girls convincing their mom and dads that they're actually boys? Yeah, I'm the crazy one. XY means you are a male. XX means you are female. Remember when I said we'd be discussing science? Well, here it is, everybody. XY chromosomes equal male. XX chromosomes equal female. Here's the thing that really irks me. I see a consistent theme in all of these documentaries that I've been watching and researching in the last few weeks on transgenderism. The thing that I keep hearing is that gender is between the ears and not between the legs. If you want to go by that logic, then why don't you just have a lobotomy instead of having your ding-dong chopped off? I mean, you're the ones that are saying it's all in the mind. And according to all this liberal research that they've done, apparently there is a difference between a female brain and a male brain. So in that case, I mean, why not just do a swap? I mean, why not have a male brain implanted into your male body? Why is one form of surgery perfectly reasonable while my suggestion is not? In fact, I'm the only one that I've known who's ever suggested this idea.
Now that the convulsion has subsided, the nurse holds a towel over the nose and mouth of the patient.
Freeman would peel back each eyelid, insert his ice pick, and with a hammer, tap through the brain, wiggle it about, sever the frontal lobes, withdraw it. And when the patient came to, he or she would be given dark glasses to hide the black eyes they'd been given.
I don't see how that procedure is any different, any worse, or any more self-harmful than this.
Is it finished? Yes. So this is going to be labia after this. Can I have your up? This. Oh wow! Oh, far out! That's going to be really cool when it's all rolled on.
By the way, dude, that is one ugly vajayjay. That's all for today on the topic of transgenderism. Stay tuned for part 3, which is to come shortly. Did you like this video, everybody? Well, then go ahead and click like down below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and make sure to check out my blog series, Why You Don't Have a Girlfriend and Why, as a Result, I Don't Have a Boyfriend, which you can find at thegregariousgiggler.blogspot.com. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day. Ciao!
One day soon